Webcasting from Southeast Kansas, I'm Jonathan Switzer. This is another episode, a long-delayed episode of this Robotech thing. I want to start off by apologizing for the long delay. Forces have been conspiring against me, both external and internal. There's been a lot to talk about, so let's get to talking about it. I've got 4 stories I want to be talking about today. Before we get to that, I do want to thank everybody who subscribed. I want to thank everybody who's going back and watching the stuff I've put out so far within the last year or so. Without any of you, I probably wouldn't be doing another one of these, so I probably wouldn't be feeling quite so guilty. Yeah, 2 giant stories have been going on, have dropped in the last month or so, and we're going to be talking about them right after I run the news bumper. I want to say it was a couple, maybe a few Wednesdays ago. I woke up and grabbed my phone, as I do when I wake up, and was looking at Twitter. And I saw some people on Twitter making fun of a particular phrase. A very interesting and particular phrase. The phrase, timeless classic. Something had been described in a press release as a timeless classic. Do you know what that timeless classic is? Timeless classic. I would not describe that film as timeless. I would not. That is not a word I would use to describe that. Yes, the timeless classic in question was Robotech the Shadow Chronicles. And the context was a press release from, of all companies on Earth, Lionsgate. Now, do you know what franchises Lionsgate is currently putting out theatrical films for? The Hunger Games. I mean, this is a big company. This is a big company to be licensing Robotech animation. They licensed Robotech the Shadow Chronicles, and they are the distributor. They are the home video distributor for Robotech Love, Live Alive. They will be releasing it on DVD July 23rd. This was announced at the end of April, mid to late April, the 23rd of April. So 3 months down the road from that date, you know, we get Robotech Love, Live Alive on DVD paired up with Robotech the Shadow Chronicles. Now, I sincerely doubt anybody had Lionsgate in the Who's the Home Video Distributor pool. Interesting tidbit here. They have it under license from A&E Networks Consumer Products. So what I expect happened here is A&E looked at it and went, you know, this does not fit into our product mix. So, who wants it? Who wants it? And then, for some reason, Lionsgate decided they wanted it. Very, very strange. Now, the MSRP on this 2-pack is $19.98. But the thing is, right now, right at this very moment, Amazon is selling it for $12.86. It was a little higher. I do remember seeing it a little higher when it first posted about a week or so ago. But what this has on it is Love, Live Alive simply has a pre-production gallery. I don't know whether this is a pre-production gallery on the original Japanese Love, Live Alive material, or if it's a pre-production gallery for the new animation. It's a pre-production gallery. It's the only extra on there, which is a shame. I had been hoping to see the Japanese Love Live Alive and whatever home video release Love Live Alive got. But the Shadow Chronicles disc comes with all of the stuff from the special edition. So while it's a 2-movie collection, I wonder if it is a 3-disc set. Because I know that Shadow Chronicles Special Edition was a 2-disc set. So I'm flabbergasted it's actually coming out this year. I'm honestly a little bit stunned. I thought it was going to be 2014 before we're going to see it, just because of the fiasco that was the release of the Shadow Chronicles originally. I think this is the smartest way to release it, since I've been hearing up till now that Love Live Alive does play like a DVD extra. And that price on Amazon is about what I think it's going to be worth. You know, that's like me going to Hardee's and getting a value meal with the chocolate malt instead of the soft drink. That's about that. You know, I think Love Live Alive is probably worth that much. You know, on the to be fair, you know, I'm not particularly thrilled about having a 3rd copy of the Shadow Chronicles in the house. But, you know, whatever. I'm not too bothered. I'm interested in seeing it. I will be putting in my pre-order on Amazon once I can find something else to pair with it to get free shipping. So that's the first big news. You know, our next Robotech animated featurey thing actually has a release date. Oh my god, I'm a little stunned. I admit it. Now, the other big thing going on in Robotech land right now is still ongoing as of this recording. It is, with 6 days to go, it is the Robotech RPG Tactics Kickstarter. Now, for the couple of you in the back there who don't understand what Kickstarter is, let's say you have a game you've designed, or you have a movie you want to make, or a comic you want to publish, or you know, a web video series you want to do, or a podcast, and you don't have any equipment to do a podcast, and you know, you just be using the internal mic in your computer and sound like crap. You can go to Kickstarter.com with a proposal and a fun goal, and you can set up a Kickstarter project. You say, okay, I need this much money to fund this print run, or to you know, hire these people, or to do whatever it is you need to do to, you know, achieve your goals. And so what you do is you go to you set this up and you go, okay, now folks, if you give me this much money, I will give you a set of stickers in return. If you give me this much money, I will give you a poster in return. If you give me this much money, I'll send you the stickers and the poster, and I'll sign the poster. And then you know, as the amount of money people give you goes up, you give them better stuff. You know, there comes a certain point where you go, okay, and if you give me this much money, I will give you this thing that I'm working on. And then once you get beyond that reasonable level, then things start to get a little crazy. Then you go, okay, and I'll give you this thing, and I'll sign it. I'll give you this thing, and I'll draw a little doodle on it. I'll give you this thing, and I'll go to your house and knock on your door and sing at you, or something ludicrous like that. As for the game itself, now, the game is, of course, played with all these little tiny Veritechs and battle pods and all this cool stuff. They are assembled them, you do have to assemble them yourself, you're going to have to paint them yourself, you have to learn to paint little tiny figures. That's going to be fun, it's going to be a learning experience, and thankfully, you know how they've got all those different tiers I was telling you about? I'm funding it at, I'm pledging $140+ to them. So I'm going to get an awful lot of funny little figures. Yeah. All the different tiers. the tiers start at $15. And for $15 you just get a little Rick Hunter Robotech fighter. You get one little game piece. For the $25 and $40 levels, you get a bunch of posters. And the cool thing is, these are all posters from the old Robotech RPG books. The $25 set of posters is going to be the full wraparound cover. The rarely seen full wraparound cover of the original Robotech RPG from the late 1980s. As published on the book, you only got the front of it. That's the image that you saw on all of the ads for the Robotech RPG that were published in comic books and magazines all throughout the late 1980s and the early 1990s. The other poster, the other of the two posters, is going to be the full wraparound cover of the second Robotech RPG book, the RDF manual. So that's very cool. The $40 level, you get 8 different Robotech 8.5 by 11 prints of other Robotech RPG covers from the late 1980s to the early to mid 1990s. Stuff like the Southern Cross cover, the New World Order cover, the Return of the Masters cover, stuff like that. 8 different ones in all, so that's all very cool. A lot of nice painted Robotech artwork from the RPG. The $70 and $80 level and up is where you actually get the boxed Robotech RPG Tactics game, filled with Robotech fighters and battle pods and destroids and all that good stuff. The $140 level is where the crazy fun stuff comes in, because that's where they basically say, okay, every time we reach one of our further goals, then we add more stuff to the pool here. You will get more stuff. And that was what influenced my thinking in saying, okay, I'll give them $140. I want the most stuff that I can get for the smallest amount of money. Who doesn't want more stuff for less money? So $140 is where they start giving you crazy amounts of stuff. Now, I've been following this. I've got a little app on my phone here where I can see how much money this has made, how many backers, And now the original goal that Palladium set was $70,000. They made that in 3 hours. Now, does that show a whole lot of love for Robotech? Maybe. It certainly, I think, shows a lot of love for the Macross designs. I think it shows a lot of love for these robot designs overall, since, after all, they were all over the place in the 1980s. I mean, you had the import kits coming over, you had the Robotech Defenders kits, you had the Robotech television series, and of course you had Battletech that used all of these mechanical designs as well. I think there is enough of a love for these robot designs that people who won't even be playing the game want the little pieces. These are at the same scale that the Battletech miniatures game uses, so I'm sure there are a lot of people who just want all of these pieces and will chuck the rules away, and we'll just be using these as Battletech pieces. But I mean, that's my assumption. That's what I figure, honestly. Now, where are we at as of this recording? As you can see here, you can see for yourself. Let's see if I can bring that into focus. Yeah. Okay. So that's 3,305 backers have pledged $726,985 total. We are coming up on $750,000. Now that's for how the game is played. they released a little video. I'm running a little bit of it here, showing a game in progress from one of the shows that Ninja Division has brought the game to over the last couple of months. You know, they've been showing this off. They first showed off just the pieces, and then I think it was a convention in Vegas where they actually set up a table, and for the benefit of the camera, showed you know, some of the gameplay going on. You know, it looks easy enough to play. It looks like you know, a quick-paced, fairly simple game to run. So so it's good. You know, I think, you know, once I get it, once I actually start building the guys and painting them all up, I'll be begging people to come over and play the game with me. Don't have many friends, so I'll have to, you know, drag people in. Anyway, so that is the biggest, I think, you know, even beyond, you know, Love, Live, Alive actually coming out. I think this is the biggest Robotech news of the year. Because this is a thing that's going to be ongoing. You know, they're planning 3 boxed sets for this, you know, and you've got all these extra other pieces. I don't know how exactly they're going to be distributing these once we get beyond Kickstarter, once we get to actually, you know, putting this stuff into stores. I'm sure they will keep us all in the loop. There is one website to visit that is run by one of the guys who's actually affiliated, who's actually working on the game, robotechbattles.blogspot.com. He's not keeping that as well updated as the Kickstarter is. The Kickstarter at you know, kickstarter.com/rrpgt/robotech-RPG-tactics-TM. I'll provide links to all this stuff, you know, in the show notes, in the description on YouTube. But you know, those are 2 places to go to get the latest information on the game. But you know, of course, while I'm hyped for this stuff, you know, I am more hyped for what comes after. They have 3 box sets they're planning for the Macross Saga. It corresponds roughly with, you know, the 3 sort of eras of the Macross Saga. You know, but after that, then comes Southern Cross, and bear this in mind. You know, while the guys at Ninja Division are hemming and hawing, Kevin Symbieta keeps saying and keeps on saying and keeps on saying they fully intend to do all of Robotech, especially considering they have very close to $750,000 on their Kickstarter. I think this is going to go over well enough that we will definitely see, you know, all of Robotech represented in this game. So, on that note, let's move on to a couple of RoboJunk gets. Because I've got a lot of these backed up. Let's start burning some of them off. You know, this week we're going to take a look at one toy and one piece of artwork, and yeah, we'll just get right to it. You know, this week's RoboJunk Get. Alright, you know the drill by now. I show you a box. There's Robotech stuff in the box. We open it up, we see what it is. Since it's a box this week, you can be reasonably sure, especially given the dimensions, it's not going to be animation art, it's going to be tangible goods. So let's slice and dice. Slice and dice. Alright. Hopefully that didn't sink in and dice up the item, whatever it may be. Okay. Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. Okay, but that's not the main event here. The main event is you can see it through the bubble wrap. It is a Max Sterling Veritech Fighter from the Robotech Collectors series. This is a I don't remember if this is specifically called a joke machine, but it's a super deformed Veritech fighter. The only Robotech marked transformable Veritech fighter for 15 years at least was the set of the 3 of these that they released. This was, they had Maxes, they had Miria's Red VF1J, and they had Rick's Skull 1. So we're gonna open it up here. This was not sealed, and we're gonna open it up. And it looks like we got everything here. Considering what I spent on this thing, we should have gotten everything. So we got the fighter itself. We got the fast packs here. The arm armor, the leg armor, the tiny little Min-May, GU11 gun pod. So, okay, lasers don't turn. Never had one of these before. Oh, no, lasers turn. Lasers turn. So, yeah, I just never had one of these. And I really, really wanted Skull 1, but couldn't get that because all the auctions I bid on would go too high and it'd be annoying. Here, that's nope, it's like that on both arms. So I guess that's just the way it is. Oh, okay. Yeah, that rotates for the transformation. So that's a cool little thing. Now, as you saw, they put this, this has the sort of silver here and the Collector's Series emblem. The other items that were in the Collector's Series were all of the Japanese originating molds, like the smaller Destroids. All the versions of the SDF-1 had that sort of Collector's Series emblem. Let's see here see if I can get this thing without ever having messed with it. Let's see if I can get this into Fighter or Guardian, because I know my way around the VF1 transformation. I wonder if those stickers are actually on there right. Well, no matter, I'm not really going to mess with it. It's a bad idea to mess with it. A battle pod I picked up a little while back that I tried really messing with the sticker placement on, and it turned out alright, but they're still sort of peeling up at the corners. Yeah, there's your tiny Guardian. Let's give him his gun pod. Yeah, that doesn't look half bad. I kind of like this guy. It's cute. And then let's do it all the way. Oh, hey. No, we want the head down like that. The lasers, okay. Come on. This just sort of maybe not, but yeah. And then the landing gears fold out, and the landing gear doesn't go far enough. guess it sort of leans forward like that, and but yeah, it's a cool little thing. Maybe not worth the money I spent on it, but on the other hand, I did get the box, and from what I understand, the little Minmay figure, because it's not really part of the toy, can be hard to get. And it's got the instructions. So I think this is a rousing success. I think I am well pleased with this.
Maintain a stationary orbit. Robotech will be right back.
Dun, 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 dun. Hey, look, it's another large, flat package. Gee, I wonder what that could be. Here's a hint. What have the other large, flat packages been? Oh, I don't know. Animation artwork. From Robotech to the Sentinels. Eventually, collectors are going to wind up with every surviving frame from that 70 or so minutes. I will be one of those people. Actually, the funds are running a bit dry at the moment, thanks to, as of this recording, it's mid-December, so I've been having to buy things for other people. Gasp, shock, buying things for other people. So, the well's running a bit dry, and so I haven't been able to buy all the Robotech 2 the Sentinel cells on the market. On the other hand, the stuff I've gotten recently, I'm pretty happy with. It has made me less envious, less, needy for the stuff that's on the market right now. So, that's good for me. Okay, so, hang on. So, we got this. And that is a laser copy background of, organic-y Invid Hive stuff. Makes this, again, suitable for framing. And then the envelope here contains... Ooh, hey! There's Tesla and the Regent's Foot. Yeah, it's Tesla and the Regent's Foot. And then you put it all together, and what have you got? Bippity bobbity boo. Yeah, suitable for framing. Yep, that's pretty cool right there. That's pretty cool. I always liked how in the animation the Invid had these funny little outfits. Although that bit right there is a little upsetting. But I liked how they had these little jackets and pants as opposed to what Jason and John drew in the Sentinels comics, where they all just had sort of the funny robes. I think giving them funny little uniforms is, on the one hand, it's actually kind of a little more amusing. On the other hand, I like the design. I like the way the cuffs are. That's kind of nice. So anyway, yeah, that's a good one. I like it. All right, we're going to wrap this up with a bit of a correction on last episode's toy news from this side of the Pacific. and a bit of toy news that you may have missed from the other side of the Pacific. We'll start off with viewer going by the YouTube user name Autorobot made me aware of the fact that at the New York Toy Fair back in February, Toynami had brought more stuff than I had talked about. And so that led me to do some additional digging. I found one website that had some additional photography of the Toynami booth, and they were showing off the Shadow Beta Fighter. In fact, within a week of the last episode going up, Big Bad Toy Store put back up their pre-order for the Shadow Beta Fighter. Now, it had said February 2013 until February ended. Then it just said 2013. Now it says fourth quarter 2013. So that is probably still coming out. We'll see. It's Toynami. It could come out. It could not come out. Big Bad Toy Store is still taking pre-orders for it though. They also had on display the boxes for the original Beta Fighters. They had, and those three are still on sale for $99.99 on Big Bad Toy Store as well. The blue, red, and green ones. But they also had the Rand Masterpiece Cyclone on display, because that you can still actually get that for MSRP. Not like the Scott Bernard Cyclone, which will set you back at least $500, if not $1,000 now. Such are the perils of limited numbered edition toys. So Toynami is, despite everything, still going strong. On the other side of the Pacific, another company is not going strong. I'm seeing reports dating back to mid-March that Yamato Toys, manufacturer of a decade of different scaled and different levels of quality of Macross transformable craft, is no longer with us. Their offices are cleaned out. The Yamato name is still on the door, but when you open those doors, there's nothing in there. Thankfully, I mean, they had put out pretty much every variation of the VF-1 Valkyrie that anybody would ever want. Pretty much all of them fairly recently in 1/60th scale. Problem is, now that they are closed, now that they are gone, prices on those have pretty much doubled. You used to be able to get one of their 1/60ths for, $115, $120. And now they're pushing like $200, $300, $400, depending on which model you're looking for. Now, my last experience with a Yamato Valkyrie was about 6 to 8 months ago. I bit the bullet and finally ordered one of their 1/60th Valkyries. I had picked up the VF-1A Max because I love that color scheme, and not enough people, not enough companies had put out that particular model as a toy. When I think of Max in a Valkyrie, I still think of him in the 1A. I don't think of that 1J that has been much more often reproduced. I don't identify that character with that craft. Everybody always goes all gaga over the 1J team, the blue and the red, the Max and Maria. But as far as running time goes in the show, Max is seen in that 1A much more. I mean, one of his most famous sequences, skulking about the Zentradi ship, putting his Veritech in Zentradi clothes, that's done with that 1A. So I wanted that 1A, and Hobby Link Japan had it for sale. Like I said, about 8 or 9 maybe months ago. And so I ordered one, and I had it. And I was really impressed with the engineering, and you know, I thought it was really cool. And I'm transforming it for the first time, and one tiny joint, I don't know if it started out split or if it split while I was handling it, but it split. And so one of the joints that sort of holds the arm in place was all floppy, because while it was, you know, still hugging onto this pin, it wasn't hugging onto it tightly anymore, because, you know, there's a big crack in the plastic. And so it just, and, you know, I mean, the whole experience is ruined. You know, and I did my research, and I found out that, you know, a lot of the 160s, because of, you know, the intricate construction, a lot of them had this problem, and so I returned it, and so I don't have any Yamato Valkyries at all. I kept eyeing up other places selling that, because I just wanted to have, I wanted the Vermilion team is what I wanted. I wanted, you know, Hikaru's VF1J, Max's VF1A, Kakazaki's VF1A, or rather, Rick, Max, Ben. I wanted the Vermilion team. And, you know, the only place you could get that experience from, that set from, was Yamato. You know, because they did so many of these variations. You know, they did every Valkyrie variation, and now they're gone. And so the prices on those are just bananas. Now the thing is, they have reorganized part of the company under a new name. The part of the company that did PVC figures and dolls, you know, the girly stuff, I suppose, is under this company called Arcadia. Yamato, Space Battleship Yamato, Arcadia, Captain Harlock's ship, you know, Leiji Matsumoto show. Cute, very cute, guys. But that stuff's set up under Arcadia. And there is, in fact, a 1/72nd VF1 Valkyrie model being done by Hasegawa in association with Arcadia. So, there may be hope. There may be a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, Arcadia might, you know, this could be like the ADV thing, where ADV Films, you know, goes bankrupt but transfers all of their stuff over to Sentai Filmworks. You know, they get to keep operating even though ADV Films went bankrupt. You know, it could be that, you know, you might see the 1/60th scale get reprinted under Arcadia. Who knows? Hopefully. Fingers crossed, because I really don't want to pay $200, $300, $500 for another VF1A Max and then have a joint split and then be, yeah, $500, man. Well, I think that's pretty much it for this week. You know, hopefully I'll have another show out before the end of May. You know, I've got a lot more to talk about. You know, there's one thing nagging at me, one big announcement was done in February that I can certainly shed a lot of light on, and different people and their responses to that I would also like to talk about. So, you know, that's coming up hopefully later in the month. I've got some other older material I would like to represent on the YouTube channel. You know, and you know, of course, I've got other RoboBlog gets that I've or RoboJunt gets, excuse me, that I've shot that, you know, I really need to crank out. So, so hopefully we'll see you again later this month. Thank you for watching. You know, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You know, follow me on Twitter. You know, provide some feedback at the show email address. This is Captain JLS signing off. See you next time.
Have we lost command of the computers? Why the devil are they giving us incomprehensible gibberish?